Hi, everybody. Do you feel a little more here after meditating? I always do. Well, Buddha Frog and the Four Noble Truths. A little frog taught me the Four Noble Truths, so I call him the Buddha Frog. Buddha Frog said, the first noble truth is life is kind of stressful. The second noble truth is I'm stressed out because I want something to be different than it is. The third noble truth, the frog said, is I don't have to be stressed out. No more low-grade tension, ever. And the frog said the fourth noble truth is the stress evaporates when I follow the Buddha's how-to manual, otherwise known as the Eightfold Path. Now, the Eightfold Path is a whole different story. Today's story is about the frog. Once upon a time at Christmas, 1,000,000 years ago when I worked in an office, my coworkers voted to do a Secret Santa gift exchange. I hated Christmas, but it was majority rule. Everybody in or everybody out. In our workplace of 60 people, the final tally was 59-1. On a slip of paper, we each listed things we liked, added our names, and dropped the slip of paper into a hat. I drew the list of the data analyst who had the office next door to mine. According to her list, she liked to try out unusual recipes. Just my luck. I knew nothing about cooking. Hated cooking too. Next on the data analyst list, she collected frogs. Frogs! At least I'd heard of recipe collections. I'd heard of spoon collections, but not frogs. Okay, I was going to cooperate with this Secret Santa thing, but I would not be happy. Ribbit, Buddha Frog here. Lady's got a problem with frogs. The first noble truth is life's kind of stressful. At least once a day, life will poke you, and you don't like it. You suffer. The lady said, I will cooperate, but I won't be happy. Lady sounds a bit tense to me. Back to my story. I was willing to go along with this Secret Santa thing, but it wasn't my fault that I wouldn't enjoy it. You see, I had lost my Christmas spirit. All that dashing through the snow past blow-up Santas, oceans of poinsettias, sleighs that dangled from traffic lights. I lost my Christmas spirit racing from Macy's to Hy-Vee to Home Depot to the Plaza to Brookside with a brief stop at church on the Sunday before the big day. All to the tune of Salvation Army bell ringing and impatient SUV horn honking. I lost my Christmas spirit, getting bloated and sick from porking out on green sprinkled star-shaped cookies. I lost the spirit when I strung lights around every window in my house, changed the sheets to red flannel, swagged the mantel, dragged the tree from the basement and topped it with a star long after my bedtime. I abandoned a cart full of gifts in a crowded department store aisle because I was too tired to stand up in a 40-minute checkout line. Come January 1st, I was too tired to face the chore of undecorating my house. So the tree twinkled in my living room until Valentine's Day. That was the final blow. It wasn't my fault. I resigned from Christmas. For the next 2 years, I lived in a parallel universe, calm and smug alongside the holiday madness, cynical about everyone else's holiday motives, but my smug little bubble burst when my office mates voted for that Secret Santa gift exchange. And I became the Secret Santa of the data analyst. I call her Noelle, because every year, just after Memorial Day, her computer, phone, filing cabinet, bulletin board began wearing Santa hats. And her doorway was framed with blinking Christmas lights. Ribbit. Poor misguided lady. The second noble truth is she's stressed out because she wants things to be different than they are. Every time you want something to be different, you suffer. She prefers that the streets were not crowded with traffic. She prefers that checkout lines are less than 40 minutes long. She prefers to forget about playing Secret Santa to a frog collector. Prefer. Suffer. Getting back to my story. The day I pulled Noelle's name from the hat, I stopped after work at a drugstore to buy aspirin for my Christmas headache. From the bottom shelf of a case populated with stuffed animals, a lime green frog looked up at me. It had a lopsided smile, spindly legs, pancake-sized feet. I picked it up to check the price tag, and before I could stop myself, I held him against my cheek. Oh, my goodness, he was as soft as my favorite fleece hoodie and as warm as my flannel sheets. Okay, I bought the frog, but I wasn't happy. I slipped Froggy into Noelle's office while she attended a meeting. After she returned, I peeked in. Froggy sat on her computer monitor, his long legs and big feet dangling in front of the screen. I walked in. She picked him up as though he were her first grandbaby. She said, "Look what my Secret Santa bought me. I love him. Feel how soft he is." She held him close to her heart. Tears welled in her eyes. I felt warm and fuzzy, a lot like Froggy. A week later, I was elbowing my way through Target. At the end of the auto supplies aisle, there was a display of stuffed frogs. A button on the stomach read, "Push here." I did. The frog croaked to the tune of Jingle Bells. Ribbit, 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 ribbit. Noelle had a reputation for practical jokes. This was the frog for her. I lay in wait until the lunch hour left our office suite deserted. And like a cat burglar, I cracked open her office door. I snuck in and I set the frog on her chair. And when I was in my own office, I paced and strained to hear a reaction. At last, an ear-splitting cackle resounded through the hallway. Noelle burst through my door, armed with the frog. She said, "You gotta see this." She pushed the button. The frog croaked, "Ribbit, ribbit, 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 ribbit." I laughed, but only politely. I didn't want to give myself away. But I tell you, I was about to burst from the desire to claim credit as a genius gift giver. According to the office rumor mill, that frog broke into song during finance meetings, strategic planning sessions, and team building discussions. Noelle's chortle echoed through the halls. One day I was rounding the corner toward my office, and Noelle had cornered the finance director in the hallway near my door. She was saying, "Did I show you this?" And the finance director said, "Yes, twice." But it was too late. Noelle had already pushed the button. And she said, "I can't wait to find out who my secret Santa is." The finance director said, "Neither can I." I slipped through my door, wearing my best innocent bystander expression. Buddha Frog says, "Ribbit, lady's starting to get it. The third noble truth is you don't have to suffer. You don't have to be stressed out. One day, she thinks about buying a frog and she can't stop complaining. Next day, she buys a frog and she can't stop laughing. Same cute green reptile. Same Noelle. Different reaction. Lady's got no stress now." Back to my story. I was getting a little obsessed. I dreamed about frogs. I could see frogs in cloud formations. My favorite nature show ran a 4-part series on the reproductive cycle of the Vietnamese mossy frog. I was drowning in frogs, and I thought, maybe Noelle's drowning in my frog gifts too. And that's when I remembered her Christmas list also said she collected exotic recipes. So I focused the last gift on her love of cooking. I went on a cyber treasure hunt, searching the internet for recipes, and I printed them all out on Christmas tree green paper. I rolled them up into a fancy scroll and tied them with green and white satin ribbon and stuck a candy cane in the bow. And the final touch on the perfect present was a gift card picturing a frog wearing a Santa hat. Noelle and an accounts payable clerk walked into her office after grabbing morning coffee from the break room. Noelle screeched, "Oh, my secret Santa's been here. I hope it's recipes." And for the rest of the day, whenever I ran into her, I overheard her in the hallways, over coffee, and on the phone, describing her plans to try out her new recipes. I gotta tell you, I was as proud as a 5-year-old seeing my drawing displayed on the family fridge. Ribbit.
Look at her. She was accidentally very wise. The fourth noble truth is the way to stop stressing out is to follow the Buddha's how-to manual, the Eightfold Path. One of the folds is right intention. The lady had the intention of goodwill. She wanted Noel to be happy. Nothing needed to change. Ribbit. No stress.
Back to my story. The last day of work before Christmas, holiday excitement was at its peak. We revealed our identities at our office Christmas party. Evergreen swags were draped across the tables, their fragrance filling the room. A CD played in the background. Little Drummer Boy faded into chestnuts roasting on an open fire, into We Three Kings of Orient are. The chatter of overlapping conversations floated over the music. And when Noelle discovered I was her benefactor, she wrapped me in a bosomy hug, the kind of hug you save for a long-absent friend. I held on to her half a beat longer than she held on to me. We filled our plates with goodies and sat side by side, and then Noelle,
does the lady remember the first noble truth?
Life is stressful. A frog keeps interrupting me, which is causing me stress.
Second noble truth?
I'm stressed because I want something to be different. I want the frog to stop interrupting.
Third noble truth?
I don't have to be stressed out.
Fourth?
Stress goes away when I follow the Eightfold Path. I can see that it makes the frog happy to interrupt me. Back to my story. I crunched on green sprinkled star-shaped cookies while Noelle described the frogs at her house, painted on the mailbox, embroidered on bedroom slippers, hopping across her toilet seat covers. The noise in the room threatened to swallow her voice, so I scooted in till our heads were touching. I didn't want to miss a single frog. The end.